I'm Anna.
I'm Ben.
We're AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching Frieren Beyond Journey's End, Season 1, Episode 26. Last episode, we beat the copy of Frieren. I'm assuming. I mean, it looked like a final blow to me. And that would mean, in my opinion, we are going to catch up with Denkin on their end of things and hope that their matchups that they've made are going well.
Mm-hmm. I think that is something that I'm really excitedly hoping for this episode. I really do want to check in and see all of the other mages battling it out with these copies. I mean, come on, like, who doesn't want to watch more magic?
You're very right. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Sweet. Or a human mage. I'm pretty sure I know that the end of Frieren is coming in terms of Season 1, but I'm in denial. Like, I'm hoping that it doesn't stop at 30 or 28. I hope it just goes to at least 50. You know,
I definitely want to continue on this journey beyond Journey's End. Like, it's never gonna end. The journey will never end. Last episode was set up so perfectly with starting the episode out back with Fern asserting that she thought that she could kill Frieren, and then Frieren's smile, and then we get the context later on in the episode of why that from Fern would make Frieren smile.
Oh, I want to see more of Land.
Oh yeah, we're at Ubel and Land right now.
The height of magic.
Wait. But...
Oh my god! Woo! What a shot! Look at the animation!
Oh my god! This is the coolest thing ever.
Fuck a golem in a bottle. I can make one myself. Oh my god.
So Fern's blow didn't do it. Oh, try again.
Oh my god. It's a battle of attrition.
So they're paired up together?
Yeah.
What? Wow, the vulnerability of that. Who's Methode fighting?
Oh!
I still think Sign would have a crush on Methode. I'm just saying.
Oh my god!
Them being partnered up is so perfect, Lavina and Richter.
That was a cool shot. Uh-oh.
探知できている複製体の総数が受験者よりもわずかに少ないです。確かに感知できないね。前世の複製体はさすがに感知できない。攻撃される形になったらフェルンを守りきれないし。
Oh no.
フェルンさんとデンケンさんの複製体の位置も把握できていませんし、精度の高い近距離探知で探すしかありませんね。
All three of those are concerns.
こんな懸念もいらなかったんだ。
一級魔法使いは理不尽なほどの逆境でも覆せるような存在でなければならない。
That's fair.
実に優しい平和な試験だ。
Pacifist for real.
Whew. You're not even fighting and killing real people. It's perfect.
No.
Wait, what the
Sensei.
アビーネ
Oh my god.
お前も瓶を割れ
Please.
Oh,
Do it in time.
shit.
Oh my god.
間に合わなかったか背中を向けているというのに
What the
まるで隙
fuck?
を感じん
確か宮廷魔法使いの電剣だっけ。もしかしてあれと戦うつもり？ねえ電剣、これってダンジョン攻略に必要なことなの？
Ooh, Bell and land for
今
him.
フリーレンも
説明はいい。必要なことなの？なら私が倒す。
Oh?
電剣やビアベルよりもはるかに弱い。けれども前世相手なら勝てると思う。
Interesting.
大体何でも切る魔法、レイル財伝。私が切れると思ったものは何でも切れるし、切れないと思ったものは全く
What?
切れない。
That's fuck.
それが何だって言うんだ防御魔法で簡単に
All about the
防げる
thinking and imagination there.
防御魔法に匹敵するほどの魔法が何重にもかけられている
だからそんな理屈はどうでもいいんだよ。
As long as she
これは
thinks she
イメージ
can.
の話なんだから。
But I can visualize. There's no fucking way.
やっぱりソルガニールは効かない。全身を視界に収めるのは無理だ。
Just because of how vast the hair is.
やはり私の複製体の
It
おそらく戦いにすらなら
won't even be a real fight.
その第二次試験の試験官を担当したのは
I think she thinks Ubel would win.
Yeah.
彼は一級魔法使い
Who are you?
一度たりとも手傷を負ったことがないほどの
Hadn't been injured once since becoming a first class mage.
不動の街灯
Immovable cloak.
あらゆる攻撃魔法も通さないほどの防御術式が組み込まれてい
It's
る
basically like her hair.
第二次試験の内容は街灯をまとったブルグに受験者が攻撃
He took the attacks himself.
誰もブルグの心配などしていなかった
Ubel
But they
killed
should have been.
Berg.
We know that she killed someone.
What the fuck?
切りすぎちゃった不動の街灯をどうやって打ち破った
前世さんって裁縫とか
Just like the
したことある？
threads. Oh my god, she was like really imagining how you make a
家
cloak.
柄良さそうだもんね。
What a shot.
姉貴がよく裁縫をしているのを見ていた。
And the frayed threads as you cut through. The
Oh
That
my
was amazing.
god.
ハサミをこう入れてシャーって切るんだよね。とてもいい音がするんだ。私はあの音
So intimidating.
イメージの話だよ。
Visual
布って
imagination.
いうのはさ、切れるものなんだよ。
こいつは
Same with hair.
She's out of her mind.
You expect to be able to cut hair.
完璧にイメージできないものは魔法では実現できない小さなアリが巨大な竜を踏み潰すイメージができない
But her imagination, she's able to replicate people's magic with
あの
empathy.
街灯を切るイメージができる魔法使いなど実際にあの街灯がいかなる攻撃魔法も通さないことは魔法使いなら一目見ればわかるからだそれこそバカでもわかる人が知性を持った生命体である限りそのしがらみから
They really are a good matchup. Or bad matchup.
もはや人として成立している精神状態とは思えない
Translation, she's a fucking freak. Oh, I love it so much.
いいかな。ところで前世さん、
Oh!
手入れとか大変でしょ。
私はあの時点でもう負けていたのかもしれない相性が悪すぎる
She's that bad a matchup for me. Oh my god.
みんな頭を使いすぎなんだよ。髪は切るものでしょ。
Amazing.
髪の手入れ地獄だよ
切ったらいいのに。
Jeez.
Oh
that
my god.
was amazing.
生体なら俺たちも3体片付けた
なら話は早いですね。
I'm worried about Fern or Denkin.
たった今、前世さんの複製体が撃破された
But where are Fern and Denkin?
魔法使い同士の戦いはじゃんけんのよう
That's a great analogy.
ただし現時点で確実に足止めしなければならない危険な複製体は2体そのうちの1体デンケンさんの
Okay.
複製体の場所は特定しましたもう1体の
Yeah? Okay.
And Aerie was defeated by Fern. Oh, I'm so glad we tested it because I do not want her to die.
ユーベル、これってさ。
だろうね。だってメガネくん動けないでしょ。私の複製体。
Wait.
They can respawn?
And we no! Oh my
We're
god.
quite fucked. Battle of attrition.
まったくだ。
They come back. But we've already lost people. Richter and Levine already left. What's the respawn time?
Oh god. What?
Found her. A golem taking someone out.
Oh shit! Look at the budget, man.
The sooner we defeat Frieren, the better for everyone. Save lives.
I'll have to do it after all. I'll create an opening. Uh-oh.
Oh, that is dangerous.
It won't be fatal.
Being in Frieren's POV
Yeah.
for that.
Oh my god.
If we think we can...
Visualization. Because I underestimate you. Oh my god. The knowledge of... Oh. What the fuck? Whoa. What are we watching?
Oh my god, the opening. Rapid fired them off.
Oh no! Her staff! Look at the eyelashes!
This isn't like you.
That look from the Frieren clone
That was crazy.
fucking terrifying. 80 years. Do we get to see?
Okay, we need to go quickly though, because what if Frieren comes back?
Do you think that that's what she used against the Demon King?
Maybe.
That looks so cool. It looks like Madoka Magica.
Oh.
Oh.
Ooh. She was hiding. He's gonna pick... No, we have golems for that.
It's a huge treasure chest.
Levine didn't pass, but Kane did. Stuck in a mimic. Yes! Oh my god.
Whoa.
Who are you?
Okay, that was Frieren Beyond Journey's End, Season 1, Episode 26. Man, okay. 2 minutes in, like 2 minutes and 16 seconds, we're gifted with a scene, just a small animation of Frieren's hair blowing in the wind, in the dust. And that is the second I knew this episode was about to be fucking insane. It was like Dragon Ball Super episode like 122 or something. It's like, you know when a well-known director or animator comes on immediately. It's so... It's so beautiful, dude.
Wait, don't move from this scene.
Okay.
Let me talk about it.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna wave to make sure that we put it on the screen. One of my favorite things about this is the hair over top of one of the eyeballs. You still have the line art of the eyeball, but you don't have the color. And I really like that. I really like that you can still see the eye through it.
I'm completely with you. It's also like the shadow of the hair.
But it's only when it's like thinner pieces of hair that you can see the line art. Because there are parts where thicker. A bigger chunk of hair is gone in front of the eye and the line art has disappeared. But it's when it's those thin, like you can almost imagine
the little wisps.
How thin that section of hair is.
That it's almost opaque.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
And I think that is like why? Why pick some strands of hair to have it shown to be thinner than others, other than just loving what you're working on?
You know where
doing
my
a really
mind goes? Like, it's like the unorthodox lighting. I feel like within a similar like sequence, I would see the same thing with vastly different lighting. Like, think about where the sun is or where the light is coming down on Frieren, that her right eye is completely shadowed. And look at her ear from it.
I was going to say the angle of which her face is shown, the ears are an exception, like a super cool angle to see.
It's so cool. And because of where her hair is up.
Oh, and some of the times the hair is almost getting together in this knot.
Yeah.
Also, this is an amazing shot to set up for another character that we see fighting in this episode.
With Sensei. And then we get to like what is this? Okay, am I to take right now that in this one fucking close up of Frieren, we are not only getting like, okay, movement, hair, but in the background we're seeing defensive magic being utilized like without Frieren even like looking. God.
This just, it feels so accurate to how, like, if you have longer hair and you are even in the slightest bit of wind, you know that it is like wrapping around your head. It's doing all this crazy stuff. And that was just a great animation of it.
Beautiful. And like how you said, like it definitely sets, it does help and show work for us having Sensei's hair being brought up the way that it was and being cut the way that it was. And then just in another consistency, what does Frieren do but make a giant rock golem? Yeah.
Which is like the coolest, most Frieren thing to do. Like, this golem is doing nothing other than basically Frieren like standing on top of it in such an anime protagonist fashion.
This is just such a joy to watch, man. And like, okay, like it's so difficult because I loved the way that they paced the episode and how we were getting to a certain do or die point for everybody when that finishing blow did come in on Frieren. But like, in the review of it and in immediately after watching it, it's so hard to go from like, oh, Frieren crazy fucking action sequence to like, okay, we're chilling out a little bit, moving on to somebody else's action sequence, you know? Yeah. And which brings us up to something else, is that Levine didn't pass.
Right. Richter and Levine, honestly, when we saw the two of them being partnered up, it does not come as a surprise in terms of what has already been written into the story of their dynamic, especially once Kane and Levine enter the room. There's that funny exchange where Levine keeps calling him old man.
Yeah.
So them being partnered up, and also the vulnerability or acknowledgement that Richter would be, like, that Levine would be weak to Richter in a matchup. I really like that idea that all of them here, you have to be so honest to people who you previously saw as your opponents.
Yeah.
And be like, you could kill me.
It makes me scared, worried about what a potential third test would be.
No, dude, I was thinking the same thing when I said that. Like, you can't do that, right? Mm-hmm. Like, the third test
would be one-on-ones.
Would not, it'd probably be something like the one that Ubel we're gonna get there and talk about it, don't worry, but like where the proctor is the one that you are fighting or trying to defeat, and not like one-on-ones against other test takers, because we've
already gotten
we can't do that unless it was like different matchups than what we knew would be the weakest. Like what if it was more like, this is a toss-up, it could go 50-50, no one knows who would win this. If it was matched up perfectly in that way, then maybe we could do one-on-ones. But
man, I'm sad that Lavina didn't pass, but I'm just happy that she's alive. I was really scared for a second. They did their job. I don't know how to tell
what a grave wound, like a wound that's gonna kill you is in this show.
Within a world full of magic and healing magic.
Yeah.
But they did their job. It's just Zensei's fucking insane. She's broken.
They did their job. But then we find out later on in the episodes that the replicas come back, and now we've lost 2 people that could have defeated one of the replicas. So if the Frieren fight hadn't gone the way that it ended up going, that could have been a huge issue.
Yeah. It's so... Okay. So we're getting to the point that, it like chronologically, that Lavina gets carried out, and Denkin is analyzing Zensei's replica when Ubel and Land come back into the picture.
Which, love their dynamic.
And we're getting like, oh yeah, Ubel isn't even as strong as Wurbel, definitely not Denkin, how the fuck could you even try to step to? And then we need to talk about just the concept of real Sidon, however you are supposed to pronounce this spell, a spell that can cut almost anything, with the added implication or added explanation, it cuts anything I think it can. And it can't cut anything I think it can't. I
would love to see what she thinks it can't. She thought it could cut that wall, and it did.
It's so perfect, because you could use this shit in any type of magic system, and most of the time it'd be like, you should ban that card. You should ban that spell. It's too overpowered. That's trash. Like, there's no depth to it. But because of the way Frieren Beyond Journey's End has set up the people and magic within the world, this is one of the most brilliant inclusions of a spell I've ever seen. I mean, think about it. Like, okay, we were getting the analogy of rock, paper, scissors, but way more complex. And we've already talked about, like, everybody has their own weakness depending on their own magic type, right? But the idea of it cuts anything I think it can, you're immediately like, oh, you assume, okay, that's an overpowered spell, right? Because why wouldn't you just think that it can cut anything? No, it completely relies on the disposition of the person. Yeah.
If you got an extremely intellectual, even maybe an overthinker, if they have too many doubts of whether or not something can actually be cut through or not, then it's not going to work, because it's intuition based. Yeah. And if you're too in your head and trying to think of it intellectually, then you're not going to be going with your intuition, which is what, I really would love to rewatch the scene in terms of, like, bringing up intuition, bringing up Ubel is, like, a foolish or maybe, like, not so smart character in comparison to Sensei, an intellectual. But it's like, this spell is for people that go off of feelings and don't think too hard about
But
things.
There's, like, such an added element that the nature of the show gives to us by the manner of how we've explained magic, that it's like, okay, if I'm like Frieren and Fern or whoever, and I'm up against Ubel, you could like lean into the overconfidence or confidence factor of Ubel, give them something that they would be able to cut. They're obviously offense heavy within that. And then if you like surprise Ubel with something, and don't give her any time to analyze or think about it, then therefore there's a higher chance that she wouldn't have been able to think that she could cut through it. If you surprise somebody and then they try to utilize the spell, that's the second doubt comes in. You don't have the memories and the understanding of cutting fabric or being able to hear the sound of it.
It's not about being, like, unintelligent here.
Yeah.
There's a simplicity to how Ubel takes this that is, you can cut fabric, you can cut hair. Like, watching scissors glide through fabric and seeing it fray apart and like really getting up close and personal with knowing how things work, being observant. We know that Ubel as a character already is an extremely observant person. We already knew that.
Yeah.
Because we knew when she was paying heavy attention to land and land having illusions and copies. We know because of how her magic works, where if she can empathize with people and she can watch them enough and hear about their magic enough, she can then replicate their spells. So we know that she has just always been looking at the world, just taking it all in.
Yeah.
She's terrifying.
She's unhinged.
For like, I'm an overthinker. And someone like this who would think of the simple thing, like, oh, you could cut through that fabric, I'd be like, no, but this fabric has a bunch of layers of defense magic on it, and no, I can't actually cut it. I just, yes, it's fabric, but it's different now. It's elevated fabric, so I can't cut it. And like, I would just be overthinking and adding all these layers of doubt to myself.
And it's like, oh no, instead, I've already taken that into consideration. Doesn't matter. I can do it. Like, and
then I'd be like, is that my intuition, or am I convincing myself that that's my intuition?
And it's so interesting because, okay, think about it in that sense of, like, even if in response to, oh, like there's that reason, there's A through Z reasons of why this cloak is so defensive coded and reasons that it can't be done, and the person goes up to you being like, no, I get that. I can still do it. Even if they are a little bit bullshit in terms of not understanding as much as you did all the reasons why this is so defensive, I feel as if there's a sense of placebo within the magic system of, like...
I love that idea.
Like, it's not... I'm not saying that's what it is, but it feels like it could be a detail within it of, like, just... within this nature of the spell.
Doesn't that, like, make you so much happier about how the magic system has been written in Frieren, that it's taking into account the actuality of human minds?
Yeah.
And how placebos literally really actually work on human minds?
It's not too far of a reach, right?
It is not. And, like, if I think about myself, like I said, human mind, placebos definitely work on me. But also, I can easily convince myself of stuff. I can easily convince myself that I was faking something.
Like, in that same vein of, like, okay, if we're in a sports scenario or a video game scenario and, like, it's all up to you, if you're like, oh, I can do this, you will, I think, probably play a little bit better or do a little bit better out of comfortability at least than somebody who's like, oh fuck, I don't know, I'm doubting, I'm overthinking.
Go. I really hope I win,
God,
but I don't know. My shots haven't been hitting.
Ubel is probably, especially after this episode, one of my favorite characters in this entire series. Like, we get like shots from her past with young Ubel when she is saying that she used to watch her sister sew all the time.
Which leads into one of the best frames in this. Waving, so we put it on the screen.
It's just so good. It's so fucking good. Like,
and the smile too. Like, Ubel is freaking terrifying. And then what she does right after we see the image of her in the scissors, not only does she open them and close them over like Sensei's face, but then she then glides it on the table up to her chest.
I know.
Oh my god.
It's so fucking perfect. Oh, and the sound of the scissors on desk sounds similar to the cutting through of cloth.
I think Ubel would be a great character in like a mature Otome game as a love interest. Yeah. Like the psycho, I probably shouldn't have a crush on you, red flag, that would then kill anyone that tried to hurt the person they love.
Yeah.
Friends to, like, enemies to lovers, you know? I think if she and Land have a romance, I will be happy to see it.
Ubel's character was designed with her holding scissors in mind. Yeah. I am convinced of it. There's nothing I've been more sure of in my entire life. It's so fucking cool. She's out of her mind. Yeah, she is.
She's literally incredible. Crazy.
She's so fucking cool. Man, I'm so glad that I was like, who the fuck is going to take on Sensei? Who the fuck could do it? I'm so happy. I'm so happy. And, like, don't get me wrong. It's hard because like I want to be like, oh yo, the immovable cloak, this is the craziest thing ever.
It sounds so dumb. I'm sorry, but the immovable cloak sounds so dumb. I'm not surprised he died.
What?
As soon as I heard that he was just a guy with a cloak that just stands there, I was like, he's gonna die.
I was worried. Okay, I was like, oh, this guy's cool. I want to know more about him. I'm gonna write his fucking name down, right? And then when we had him on screen for more than 20 seconds and he didn't have any eyes yet, I was like, oh no.
Oh no.
Like,
I do like when characters have hair covering their eyes, but we did know that Ubel had killed someone.
Yeah.
I don't remember if they explicitly said it was the proctor. I just remember for sure that she was disqualified for a death.
One of the other things that I really loved this episode was right when Ubel turns the corner to face Zensei. Sorry, I'm having to go back a little bit to find it. Okay, it's right over here. And she pulls up and yeah, Sorga Neil, right? The spell, it won't work strictly because hair is a part of Zensei and her hair is spread out so much and so vastly that Ubel can't see it all.
Entire body,
it's fucking, it's perfect. It's so good. You don't get that without, obviously, us knowing about it to a comfortable extent because of how much it's been utilized. This is such a good show.
Then later on, like right after that, we get, I think probably, not right after that, but later on in the episode, we have Methode reaching Worbel, Sharf, and Aerie.
Yeah.
Obviously healing Sharf, thanks for that. They won. So that's good, but now they had to go fight Denkin. But I thought that it was a really nice touch that when Methode was bringing up, you know, the fact that she was going to go fight Fern, Aerie says something. Because obviously she's fought Fern, so she's like, are you sure you can... That girl's scary.
Grandmother magic.
Grandmother magic. Oh my god, I'd be terrified.
No
one wants to fight their grandma.
I really like Methode. I'm with you that I think that Methode and Sign would get along. Man, I
don't know if she'd be into him, but...
Well, also, I don't know if she's old enough for Sign.
She at least isn't, like, baby-faced.
She did.
You know what I mean?
Her vibe is definitely more mature. Like,
yeah,
and I think that's a lot of it.
He just more doesn't like baby-face.
Yeah. Going back into the Frieren Fern fight, like, chronologically, it's so interesting. The first line of dialogue we get is Fern wouldn't notice it, which completely, like, is setting up for the revelation of, yeah, I underestimate you. You know, like, it's so perfectly paced, man.
I love how that makes Fern happy.
Yeah.
Dude, we get that POV shot of, like, literally Frieren has her hand on Fern's shoulder, which is such a cute touch of, like, how much they love and care about each other and how comfortable they are together. And the POV is great. And obviously some really harsh topics are being brought up here, like, we might get hurt in this battle, and that might be the only way that we're able to win is to, like, take some hits ourselves, open ourselves up for attack, which is, like, scary. But then, like, Frieren kind of touches again on the shoulder, like, you know, after Fern starts to look a little worried.
There's just so much love in this show because it's like, okay, at the end of the day, we're an anime, and even on our biggest budgets, you're going to have still frames. Like, because that's just the fucking way of the world between dialogues when you have mouth flaps moving and when there's no motion other than very limited animation. But to be creative enough to have a wider establishing shot and then just utilize upping the scale with motion blur and camera shake to get it to be not only from Frieren's perspective, but to follow the conversation with the focus pull going down to really see Frieren's hand on Fern's shoulder. Then you get, like, there's no animation here, right? But it feels so alive and it's so much care. Then you get Fern turning and it's the same thing again, you know? It's so good. We get another shot, like, little later on of, I think, Fern's perspective, and you get to see eyelashes opening up. I think it was right when she hit the wall. Oh, is that right
when she got hit against the wall? And
yeah.
she starts kind of looking up, and that moment, the fact that we have Fern almost delighted by the fact of what has happened to her because she's witnessing the height of magic.
Yeah.
That idea of, like, Frieren and Fern together, both being so excited, even though they're in, like, a terrifying battle, some big attack has just happened. This thing that Fern didn't expect of being blown up against the wall has happened. Her staff is in pieces, but she's still, like, in awe seeing her teacher, her master, a replica of her master, like, doing whatever it last can do to try to win. And the shot...
It's terrifying.
Because it is terrifying and beautiful at the same time.
This is the closest to Ubel I've ever seen Frieren. Like, this is like you have no fucking clue what's about to happen. Like, oh my god.
It's really interesting because it's similar to, like, an cornered animal.
Yeah.
But, like, Ubel is almost like a predator.
Yeah. Okay, look at this. So we go from that fucking look, and each fucking frame, eyes widen, zoom in on the forehead, because we're fucking going like back. It's so good, man. I think this is when we get the, oh god, okay, sidebar, are we getting a new staff by the end of the season? Are we going to be able to repair this one?
I don't know. Magic is able to do crazy things. We have to collect all of the little wooden pieces, and then maybe we can magic it back together.
This was such a cool touch with the eyelashes.
There are certain scenes. We have some friends that do animation. Or studied animation. I feel like there are some scenes in some shows that we watch where I immediately, when I come out of it, I'm like, I want to go show them this sequence and, like, see what they have to see. What they see in it, what they're interested in about it, if they're impressed by it. Because, like, I never studied animation. So I'm like, am I getting impressed by something that isn't actually impressive? Like, because I don't know anything? But I'm like, how is this not? So, like, I want to bring it to someone who's, like, studied animation.
Yeah.
And, like, hear them talk about it.
Yeah. I think it's so fascinating that with Fern's, like, hand, like, shaking, you get the staff shaking too. It's like, it really is an extension of yourself. It's so, but actually, I wonder if it's just the pressure from Frieren's spell.
I think it might have been the pressure.
Yeah. Incredible. So this is the height of magic. Oh my god, dude.
And she's smiling.
But this isn't like you. It brings me back to the conversation that we had with Aura the Guillotine of, like, what Frieren used to be like and what, you know, Himmel didn't like. You know, he was like, don't be, like, be more like how she is today.
Yeah, he complimented so much of her, like, little quirks that, like, she really took them upon herself as, like, yeah, it's okay for me to have these little quirks and to be this new way that wasn't totally, like, new to her. Because it's not like it was all fabricated, like, things she took on from other people that was fake. It's more so, like, learning and growing as a person through interactions. But that expression that Fern has on her face when she's like, this isn't like you, there's this impressed but, like, smile but sad. It's really sad because, like, you wouldn't want to see what she's seeing is someone she loves and loves seeing them happy, and, like, what they would do if they were cornered, like, and about to die. And a way that they would never normally act. And I feel like that could be, like, super sad to witness that, even if it's not the real them and it's a copy of them.
It must feel so cool at the same time. It's like, you know this person so well because of how long you've been traveling. They've taught you everything they know, that, like, there is that unknown and there is that wonder, even from the person that you know the most, you know?
It's like, for that instance, like, Frieren says, it's been about 80 years since I was last forced to use that. There's so much time that Frieren has lived, and emotions that Frieren has felt and places she's been and hurt that she's like endured that Fern hasn't been a part of. And
I wonder if we're gonna get to see it.
A weird, you know, maybe even uncomfortable or sad place to be in for that split second that you're confronted with it.
Yeah. I wonder, do you think we're gonna get to see the last time she used it?
Maybe if we ever get into the nostalgia factor of replicating the actual scene or place or enemy that she was last fighting in that way with, then I think we would go back and see it.
I almost feel like if it did have to do with the Demon King, we get that about 80 years ago. If, like, obviously Frieren still has her arms. I don't know if there was a spell that could be you know, returning of arms. But I could totally picture, like, Hamel being in about to die danger and Frieren fucking snaps.
Oh,
you know?
I would love to see that. I would also love to see the reverse and see, like, Frieren in danger and Hamel snap. Come on, I can't just think back to the ring on the finger.
Yeah.
I just can't not go back there.
I'm glad that we're still consistent with the mimics. You know, we not only get to see Frieren in a mimic, but we get to see 2 mimics already opened on the ground that I'm assuming Frieren has been the one to try to open.
I think the funniest thing that happens is right after we turn away from this mimic scenario. I think it's Laufin is kind of like, I get it. I get that feeling.
Yeah.
And I was like, me too. I also get that feeling. This is episode 26.
Yep.
That is normally, like, 24 is normally, like, an ending time period. The things that happened in this episode were really what I thought was going to be one of the ending pieces of this season, which was defeating this exam.
Yeah.
So I would imagine we're going to close off with probably some cliffhanger introduction to whatever the next exam's going to be.
Gotcha.
Like we have a couple days off like we did after the first test, and then we're in our room and another bird comes to the window. We open up the letter. It's signed by the next proctor, and it's like, this is where we're going to meet for our exam. Season ends. Like, that's what I feel like it's going to be.
That'd be such a wild way to end a season because of how it would start the next. Like,
I mean, like, some anime end seasons with cliffhangers. Others try to not because they don't know
not
when
even
the
talking
next
about it being a cliffhanger, right? That's fine and all, but like while we're in the middle of something, and not only that, but how little of time it probably would take in the next season.
That is it is interesting to end off a season where we haven't become a first class mage.
Well, like, imagine if there are only 3 tests and then we end this season beforehand. What, the next season opens up with the final test and then we're on?
I guess.
I'd feel like...
or is the final test so simple that we can do it within a small...
Maybe.
Like, I think, what, is there two episodes left?
I don't know.
I think there's, like, a tiny bit more left.
We have a decent amount of people still in the exam, so I almost wonder if, like, everybody does get it, or we get a scenario that it's like everybody's walking out the door one by one, other than Frieren and Fern being like, holy shit, we failed. And it's like going up against, I don't know, a fucking demon.
I mean, a demon in human form. I really have no clue how you end this season off, because, yeah, like you said, we're in the middle of an entire exam period. So, yeah, I'll be interested.
We got,
to see
like,
what
everything
happens.
out of the intro, I feel like, you know?
Right. The intro feels like it ends very heavy with Fern and Frieren in that room against Frieren's copy, and then the 2 stabs on the bed.
Interesting.
Which, obviously... maybe Fern gets a new one, and that's gonna be in the opening of season 2. There's gonna have to be a season 2. I'm just saying it.
If there isn't,
gonna have to be.
We riot.
We riot.
All right, that's all I have you.
We ride at dawn. Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.